0.4 on page number 62. An epitome of courage. Now I read the part, then explain. An epitome of courage. We often tend to hide behind our weaknesses, disabilities, handicaps, or mourn over them our whole life through. Dr. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest scientists of this century, did not do so. In spite of suffering from a very rare and dreaded disease, Dr. Hawking continued his research undaunted. His exemplary courage should inspire us to do our best even under trying circumstances. Exactly 300 years after the death of the great scientist Galileo, Dr. Stephen Hawking was born in Oxford, London on the 8th day of January 1942. Little did his parents know that one day their little boy would be hailed as one of the greatest scientists of this century. Neither could anybody imagine that his mind would soar up into space like light. More importantly, none could predict that he would be the very epitome of courage. Courage is a wonderful thing. It is that quality which makes people not lose heart when faced with a great calamity. It would not be an exaggeration to say that Dr. Stephen Hawking, a living legend of cosmology, is the very personification of courage and hope. Except his mind, his whole body is bound to a wheelchair thanks to a cruel quirk of fate. Yet he is one of the greatest scientists of this century. An average child, Stephen grew up to be a normal teenager, full of mischief and lots of love for music and mathematics. Even though his father wanted him to study medicine, he was bent on studying mathematics. The University of Oxford at that time did not have a course in mathematics, so he opted to study physics instead. See, exactly 300 years after the death of the great scientist Galileo, at that time, Dr. Stephen Hawking was born in Oxford, London, on the 18th day of January 1942. Little did his parents know that one day their little boy would be hailed as one of the greatest scientists of this century. Means his father hopes that his boy would become a greatest scientist. Neither could anybody imagine that about his mind. His mind would soar up into space like a light. And so, more importantly, no one could predict that she would be the very epitome of the courage. So, courage is a wonderful thing. It is very necessary, and it is that quality which makes people not lose heart when we have courage. And Dr. Stephen faced with a great calamity. It would not be the exaggeration to say about Dr. Stephen Hawking because a living legend of cosmology is the very personification of courage and hope. So, except his mind, his whole body is bound to a wheelchair, and about his mind, he studied further and further, and so he is one of the greatest scientists of this century. An average child, Stephen grew up to be a normal teenager, full of mischief and lots of love for music and mathematics. He loved music and mathematics, and even though his father wanted him to study medicine, but he did not study medicine. He was going to study mathematics. He loved mathematics very much, and so in the University of Oxford at that time there is no course in mathematics, so he changed the subject and to study physics instead of mathematics. So this is the explanation of the passage.